Hello there, how is the ongoing this very chilly Saturday and actually the 16th day of December the year 2023. Indeed, it's a beautiful day, a day full of sporting activities, and of course on that regard we'll be taking a closer look at the event 2023 as far as sporting activities is concerned. Remember, there has been a lot of activities this particular year, and we have witnessed some of the star names actually breaking the world records. I'm talking about the likes of Faith Kipyegon, 2 records in a span of 7 days, and of course our very own Kelvin Kiptum breaking yet another record that was set by a legend himself, Eliud Kipchoge. So we'll be taking a look at the event 2023, the major sporting activities that has taken place here in the country and even across the globe. Recently, the one that you can actually recall, I'm talking about the World Rally Championship that was held here in Nairobi back then in July, and of course June to July, that is the WRC Championship that was held here in Kenya. And remember, the procession began here in Nairobi all the way to Naivasha, where the almost 3-day extravagance activities that was full of fun, and of course motorsports enthusiasts were actually entertained to a lot of motorsport series and activities that actually thrilled many sporting fans, especially the motorsport fans. So some of the activities that actually took place, and remember, recently we had one of our under 18 teams actually. This is the Sekafa under 18 championship that was held here in the country, and to be precise in Kisumu and Kakamega. And in that same breath, back then in April, we had yet another under 20 activities, that is the Rugby Challenge Cup that was held here in Nairobi. Remember, where Kenya actually were the first runners up, the cup that was actually won, or rather the title that was won by Zimbabwe. So those are some of the major sporting activities, and we have even some good news, of course, by the way. Remember back then, I think it's just a couple of months ago, when Kenya together with Uganda and Tanzania won the Pamoja joint bid to actually host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. And our ladies team, that is the Harambee Starlets, remember just yesterday, recently, that we are talking about their participation, or rather their participation in the qualifiers of the Women Africa Cup of Nations that will be held in Morocco. Sadly, the team did not actually clinch the ticket to represent the country, but those are some of the major sporting activities that have graced this 2023, even as the year come to an end. It's just a couple of or rather a matter of days before we bid the 2023 a bye-bye. What a year it has been in terms of sporting activities, both here in the country and of course globally. But in that same spirit, in regard to good performance, at the end of the day you get some good rewards for being the outstanding player. You can be a player, athlete, and in this regard I'm talking about the GOAT in 1500 women meters race and 5,000 women meter race, that is Faith Kipyegon, and of course Kelvin Kiptum. This is the king in making. We have the king, that is Eliud Kipchoge, and now this is the crown prince. Very soon probably he will take the throne as the king of the long races, or rather, if you like, the marathon races. That is Kelvin Kiptum. They were crowned as the 2023 athletes of the year based on their outstanding performance and standard in the global arena, and of course they flied Kenyan flag higher in the international global competition in various tournaments, or rather championship that was held in various in various nations across the world. be it in Valencia, be it in Chicago Marathon, be it in Budapest. So they were awarded for that, for standing out, and of course for shining in the global stage. And that is a good news for good news for Faith Kipyegon, that is Calvin Kiptum, even Emmanuel Wanyonyi, Mary Moraa. Of course they were feted, and of course they were recognized for their contribution in the world of athletics. And of course we'll be taking a look on what is happening across the countries as far as the Kenya Football League is concerned. Remember, we have a couple of at least 3 matches lined up for you today in the Kenya Premier League matches, where different teams will be taking on the pitch to actually stake their claim in this title race that is actually becoming very tricky and confusing every single week. And Gor Mahia still survive, and of course they are unbeaten, but that record maybe could change tonight given the the intensity of the Kenya Premier League, and of course how things are taking a dramatic turn of event. Remember, recently it was the Postal Rangers who are sitting pretty comfortable on the of the Kenya Premier League, that is table standings, but as things stand now, they have been dethroned from that particular position that they were occupying a couple of months ago, and now they were up to, let's say, last week, they were sitting pretty well second on the table. But as we speak today, things have changed. Kakamega Homeboys sit pretty well in that second place with 27 points, 1 point behind leaders Gor Mahia. Today they face yet another tricky opponent, FC Leopards. So who knows what might happen. And of course Gor will be facing Talanta in the Kenya Premier League match action that will be played tomorrow. So we do expect a lot of sporting activities. Remember, Tusker in their midweek, they were they bagged 3 points against Bidco United. So tomorrow they'll be out there to hunt yet another 3 points. Will they manage to actually keep up with this the positive results as far as title race is concerned, and even chasing in a very unfamiliar territory, if you ask me, where they are right now? So the same case goes to FC Leopard, a team that has actually struggled this season to find form and even rhythm that can actually put them in a very advantageous position as far as chasing for this title race is concerned. A title that is pretty much wide open. Any team can actually clinch this, owing to the standards of the the intensity and the competitive nature of the Kenya Premier League action. And of course we'll be sliding over to English Premier League action. But before that, remember, during the weekday, we have had some Champions League action, we have had Europa League action, and of course Europa Conference League action that has just happened. So we have some bad news for teams like Manchester United. So I think for such a very long time they will be actually bidding this particular UEFA Champions League bye-bye. It's not that they haven't bidded this UEFA Champions League bye-bye for quite a while, but this time round it's a painful one. They finish actually last on their group matches, and of course they were eliminated, and now they'll have to wait for at least another season to see if they can actually get a chance to take part in this particular tournament, or rather championship, the UEFA Champions League matches. And of course that one was a very painful exit for a team that many hail as one of the best teams in Europe, given their rich caliber and the standards, and even their dominance in the English Premier League, and the standard that they have set in this particular competition, the UEFA Champions League, bidding it at at a very I will say young stage. It's quite shaming and heart broking for Manchester United fans, and that is what happens in football. But we have teams that have actually progressed to the round of 16. Good example is the likes of Arsenal. There we have Manchester City, and another team that actually bid bye for this UEFA Champions League at group stages is Newcastle United. So two teams from England will actually be parking, or rather they have already parked in their home, and they'll just have to wait and follow the proceedings as event unfold, and pray hard, and of course put more effort to make sure that they don't miss the ticket to actually take part in the UEFA Champions League that is next season. Well, so as far as UEFA Champions League is concerned, so that is the predicament that has fallen the teams like Manchester United and Newcastle United. And in the English Premier League, during the weekend there was some heartbreaking performance from most of the big teams, the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United. They all fall below the expectation. So today they'll have, some of these teams will have yet another big opportunity, or rather chance, to actually redeem themselves when they take part in various English Premier League matches that will be taking place across various stadiums in England. And of course we'll be bringing you a detailed analysis of that, and even some of the fixtures that are lined up for today and tomorrow. But I can tell you one that is quite really interesting to take a look at, or rather to follow the proceedings, will be the battle of the Titan between Liverpool and Manchester United. Will this be the chance, or rather the time, that Manchester United will actually rise and prove the doubters and even silence the critics? Well, time will tell. So remember, that is the big match, and many people are waiting to see how the event will unfold. Remember, these two teams, they meet for the first time this season under very different circumstances. Remember, Liverpool, they are top of their game right now. They are in form, so they sit pretty well in the English Premier League table, and actually they top the table. Then Manchester United is a team that we can describe its performance this season as a roller coaster ride, one that keep on fluctuating, sometimes high, sometimes low. So that is the nature of Manchester United. But it's fair to say the team has been rocked with a number of injuries, and right now they are in turmoil. So will they rise, be above these challenges, and actually put a stunning test, and of course against one of the English favorites to actually clinch this ticket, or rather to clinch this English Premier League title, Liverpool? Well, of course, we'll be bringing to you detailed analysis of what to expect. So the previous five encounter, who has an upper hand? So what has the performance been between these two teams? So who has actually squeezed something out of their opponent? So is it a moment of redemption or a moment of reckoning for either team? So that is a discussion that will be following, and of course we'll have it right here, and we'll be breaking to you down into a manner that you can actually understand in a simple term. And of course so that is all that I can tell you as as far as the English Premier League is concerned. And remember, we have a couple of fixtures that is lined up for today. Remember, today we have a couple of matches that will be played, including Chelsea, Manchester City, and of course Arsenal, that they'll be taking, they'll be heading down to Tunnel to actually try to get something, out of these very tricky fixtures that is ahead of them. And on Sunday, still we have a couple of matches, and one team that I think has really surprised many people, Aston Villa, of course. This is a team that they've already booked their ticket to the next round of the round of 16 of Europa Confederation Cup, and this time round they are really performing in the English Premier League. And remember, this particular coach was once a coach of Arsenal, and because during his time in Arsenal, of course, some of the things really did not work in his favor. So he had to actually switch camp, and now he takes the mantle of spearheading the ship of Aston Villa right now. And as we can see, the results are quite impressive. And this is a team that can actually, when we talk about the conversation about who will actually, win the 2023-2024 English Premier League title, I think it's pretty fair to say among the title contenders, we must actually include Aston Villa in that discussion. Critics will argue, but if you ask me, this is a team that has actually proved to be one of the title contenders, and this is the discussion that we will be having later on, as even we take stock and even you take a look at how the English Premier League table is taking dramatic turn of event. And it has been, for some minutes, Arsenal at the top, Liverpool, we had Manchester City, we had Tottenham, and the circle keep on repeating. Will Aston Villa surprise us? Maybe. And maybe the conversation should be, maybe for this week, maybe Aston Villa actually occupying the hot seat. Well, that is something that we'll be keen to see what will happen and how event will be unfolding. And talking of event, remember, we'll be taking you through our 2023 season, or rather event, as far as sporting activities is concerned. And on that note, now I think it's good time to take a look at some of the stories that we think deserve to actually be part of this, our On The Spot show. And just to take you through what to expect in the last, or rather in the next 2 hours, or rather 1 hour 55 minutes or so that I'll be spending with you. Right now, it is system all set ahead of much-awaited 2023 Kenya Basketball Federation All-Star Weekend Extravaganza clash at Nyayo Stadium. Basketball enthusiasts will be in for a thrilling encounter, pitting some of the finest basketball players in the Men's Basketball Premier League, with the event divided into 3 categories: dunk contest, the veteran and all-star, Nairobi Thunder, Garang Ding, and Eugene Adera of Kenya Port Authority headline the East team, while the West team will feature Oriel Okal and Oriel Otenga. Right, from basketball now to boxing. The final leg of the National Boxing League kick-off in Manyata, that is in Kisumu County. 2 teams, Kenya Police and the Kenya Defence Forces, are set to battle for the title. The Kenya Police team is currently leading the table with 120 points, followed by the Kenya Defence Force, or if you like KDF, which has 98 points. And as the Nairobi team and the Kenya Prison follow with 30 and 20 points respectively. The Boxing Federation of Kenya Secretary General David Munene confirmed that the underdeterminable state of the league, and further stating that the winner cannot be predicted, as the KDF team follows Kenya Police with a small range of points. Alright, indeed, you can't predict that title race because the point that separates the first and the second is a small margin given the nature of this, the boxing championship. Well, now let's progress to some good news. 2 times Olympic marathon champion and the former world record holder Eliud Kipchoge has landed a new job by the World Athletics. Kipchoge has been appointed as the mentor of the under-20 athlete refugee team, a commitment which was also signed by more than 100 organizations, including the Global Refugee Forum. According to the World Athletics confirmation statement, Kipchoge will use his experience in the sports to educate and inspire the young athletes. Right, we wish Kipchoge all the best in his new job, even as he takes the mantle of molding the young athletes to be best, or rather better sportsmen in their country or even across the globe. Well, now the Kenya athletes dominated the 2023 World Athletics Awards in ceremony held in the city of Monte Carlo, Monaco. 2016 and 2021 Olympic 1500-meter champion Faith Kipyegon was named the Female World Athlete of the Year in a track event after a stellar season that saw her achieve world records in both the 1500 meters and 5000 meter races. Calvin Kiptum won the Male World Athletes of the Year award in marathon races after he set new world record of 2 hours and 35 seconds in Chicago Marathon in October, breaking a record held by the legendary Eliud Kipchoge. And Kenya's youngsters Emmanuel Wanyonyi and Faith Cherotich were feted with the Rising Athletes of the Year award after top athlete awarded in the ceremony include Ethiopia's marathon runner Tigist Asefa and Noah Liles of United States. Now let's switch gears from athletics to football. But before that, of course, like always, we wish all the best. We wish all the winners of this 2023 athletes of the year awards that include some of the youngsters and of course youngsters that in future probably will carry the Kenyan flag high, and even those who made a mark and contribution as far as athletics is concerned. And of course we do hope and wish that they will continue to shine even in future. Now let's switch gears now to some football action. Uganda under 15 soccer team will represent the Sekafa region in the, of course, upcoming Africa School Football Championship in both boys and girls tournaments. This is after the Uganda girls team thrashed Kenya 2-1 in the final match, which was played at Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi. In the boys' final, Tanzania was defeated by Uganda through a penalty shootout, which concluded with a 4-2 score. This is after the game ended in a 1-1 draw. Kenya boys team failed to qualify for the finals as they were third in the boys group table. Right, runners up and of course third in table, it's not a bad thing. Then as always, we pick from our mistakes, lessons learned, and next time we put much effort and try again. Well, success to our under 15 team and wish them all the best even as they prepare for future tournaments. Now, Nigeria's and Napoli striker Victor Osimhen ripped or rather piped Egypt's and Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah and Morocco PSG defender that is Achraf Hakimi to be crowned as the African Footballer of the Year in a ceremony organized by the Confederation of Africa Football (CAF) in the city of Marrakesh, Morocco. Fellow Nigerian and FC Barcelona Femini forward Asisat Oshuola was awarded the Women's Footballer of the Year award for the 6th time in her career as Nigeria was named the Women's National Team of the Year. Morocco's national team head coach Walid Regragui was named Men's Coach of the Year after Morocco's exploit in the 2022 World Cup that saw African nation reach the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup tournament for the first time in history, and also saw them named as the Men's National Team of the Year. Al Ahly FC of Egypt was named Club of the Year in the men's category, while Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa bagged the award in the women's category. Okay, so from the continent now let's return to country. Bandari FC will be hoping to bounce back from defeat after their one loss against Nairobi City Stars when they welcome Oranga Seals at Mbaraki Stadium today at 3 p.m. At the same time, Shabana FC will play host to Sofapaka, while Kenya Police will lock horns with KCB at Stima Sacco. In other matches set for tomorrow, league leaders Gor Mahia will take on Talanta FC, while high-flying Kakamega Homeboys will brush shoulders with FC Leopards at Nyayo Stadium, among other fixtures. Of course, remember that the Kenya Premier League match will be bringing you an update of what will be happening across various stadiums from Baraka in Mombasa to Nyayo Stadium. We'll keep you updated on what is happening and the latest scores, what you need to know as far as this Kenya Premier League match is concerned. Now, from Kenya Premier League, now let's take a look at the English Premier League action. So, Chelsea will face, or rather will hunt out 3 points in the English Premier League after suffering 2 consecutive losses when they host Sheffield United at Stamford Bridge, while Manchester City will be hoping to pile more pressure on league leaders Liverpool with a clash against Crystal Palace. In other fixtures lined up for today, Newcastle United will welcome Fulham at St James Park, while Everton will travel to Burnley with an aim of clinching all 3 crucial points. On Sunday, Liverpool will welcome Manchester United at Anfield in a battle of the Titan as Arsenal take on Brighton at Emirates Stadium. Right, now let's take a look, or rather, let's focus on the development of, rugby in the country. So before that, you see, we have been taking you through some of the, some of the news that we had actually highlighted for you as our top priority. And before that, remember, in this English Premier League action, and in particular the match that will be played tomorrow, that is a clash between Liverpool and Manchester United. Remember, that is the big match of weekend that many people are waiting. And the event that will unfold tomorrow, we don't know who will win, who will actually go home with broken leg, some very heartbroken. Some tell me we know that it's pretty obvious, but I don't want to be accused of being enemy of progress, because a lot of the time I've actually been on the hot soup from Manchester United fans who say like, oh man, yo chuki, una chuki ni personal sana. So leo mi sitaki kuwa personal, mi nawauliza tu, and of course that forms the basis of our question, the question of the day, where we ask you, the team ni mbili tu, Liverpool na Manchester United. So nani mkali? Who do you think will actually reign supreme, Liverpool or Manchester United? You can, send in your views and comment on this one, because I don't want to give my own comment. So you know where to reach us. You can talk to us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, we are live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can tweet me personally on my Twitter account, or rather my X account at AUMA Events. Use the hashtag on the spot. Talk to us. Send in your comments and thought. Who do you think between these two teams will actually, carry the day, or will have the bragging rights after the full 90 minutes? Will it be Liverpool or Manchester United? So that is our question of the day, and we are asking you to be part and parcel of this, show. Talk to us. Send in your views and comment. Don't accuse me, because I'm giving you a chance to actually contribute. So tell me what you feel, what you think. Kama wewe ni fan wa Man U, unadhani umetosha mboga? Kama unadhani umetosha mboga, ongea na sisi. Kama wewe ni fan wa Liverpool, kama unajitambua, ongea. Nasikia mafans wa Man U mkia iko somewhere there, but ni sawa tu. Anyway, so that is our question of the day, and of course you're free to talk to us, and let's see, all right, how things will unfold. You can even contribute to other matches, like Chelsea will be taking on Sheffield United. Do you think Chelsea will actually this time round, of course, steer this Sheffield United for kidogo? And of course we'll be coming to that later on. But on this short notice, I think this will be winding our first segment of On the Sport Show. And of course, we want to take a very short break. And but before that short break, we have a small feature lined up for you regarding the development of rugby in the country. And this is one team in particular, or rather one soccer academy. You can call it soccer because it nurtures many young talents. Well, Kiunguro Rockstar Rugby Team, or if you like, Rugby Academy, continues to shine amid deplorable state of pitch and capacity building that has slowed its growth. Founded in 2021, the Kihunguro Rugby Academy has become a beacon of hope in a community that is synonymous with high rate of crime. National team with high rate of crime, of course, and the national team call, and as our very own, that is, I was the one who was taking part in this particular reports. This team has produced players like Tabitha Mudhoni, who have earned up a call to the national under 18 team.
Through Kiunguro Street into the maze of Old Kiunguro Anglican Church of Kenya,
Kenguru Rock's rugby team is the first from the right.
3, 2, 1, Rock Simba!
Here, resilience, love and passion for rugby run deep.
Position.
When he was first posted in this area, as a law enforcer, part of his job was to restore sanity in an area that is synonymous with crime. Salbato Lassa knew he had to start from somewhere. It is then that the idea of Kiunguro Rockstar Academy was born.
The time I came here, even my aim was not to try. It was not there to create a rugby team. Young boys from the age of 4 years to 17 years, they are obvious target because if you capture them, they have no place to go.
What started as a dream has attracted at least 70 teenagers, boys and girls, all chasing their rugby dream.
Niliona tu coach akirusha pale mpira nikasema acha tu niende njaribu. Sasa kuanzia hiyo siku nikaanza kucheza mpaka sasa hivi nimefika hivi. Nikapata ukapteni na sasa mimi ndo captain wa under 30 na watu na train vizuri.
It is a dangerous neighborhood. Idle youth that need somehow to stay busy and to stay sane, he tells me. This is the drive and the motivation that laid the foundation of this rugby academy, and so far it is working. His message to the youngster is simple. Take the field and you can be someone.
So I decided that I should mentor them and bring them in a positive way so that they may impact the community and so that they may be an industrious person in the community. And so far, so good.
But if you ever thought for a second that the success of this rugby team has been rosy and smooth sailing, well, think again.
As we speak, we don't have a pitch, but we would really wish to have one. Because you can see, we don't have an official kit. We don't have a kit, actually. We don't have those boots, shorts. Yeah.
On a normal day, training sessions begin at exactly 9 a.m. Players are subjected to physical, tactical and mental training as part of daily routine training. That too has its own fair share of challenges. Today there will be no hard tackle. Players want it, but the pitch won't have none of it. The coach knows he has to play soft for the sake of players' safety. The state of this deplorable field is breathtaking.
We're protecting the game. For rugby, it has its rules. So the rules, like most of the time, we don't play here. We don't play a real game most of the time. We don't do back tackles, for they are risky on this ground. We don't do lift tackles. We don't do push tackles at this place. So we try just to use what we have.
Young athletes are learning lessons for life. It's not enough to be faster, hard and best players. They have seen worse and they have conquered it all. And that resilience is paying off for the team that pride itself in players like Tabitha Muthoni, who has rose to the ranks to earn a call-up to the national under-18 team.
Sasa kocha wetu wanatupatia motisha to train, to work hard. Sababu one day one time, a day is coming that hii rugby itatusaidia.
The team faces many obstacles, for example, this field. But who said you need a good field to play rugby? There is no obstacle too great to shatter their dreams. AUMA Evans for KUTV, Nairobi. Right, so that was, a very extensive, what they actually, that Kiunguro Rugby Academy do in regard to nurturing young talent. But we had some lengthy discussion based on, the journey, the success, and of course some of the challenges that particular Kiunguro Rugby Academy is going through, because that is a work in progress. And to be specific, actually, we had a very lengthy conversation with the head coach, just laying out some of the, the stepping stones and the reasons why he actually founded that particular rugby academy. And of course, some very, shocking details. Some might say, a blend of good and bad news in between, because I'm talking about good because it's giving, or rather exposing these teenagers into the possibility of actually nurturing their talent and making something out of this rugby. So that is a very good thing and a good initiative from a coach that has passion to actually change the lives of young boys and girls in Kiunguro community. But on the other hand, when you look at the rate of crime that is quite synonymous in that particular area, then it calls for some sort of alarm. And because of that, because if you want to change a society, you must give them something to believe in. So this particular rugby academy is that beacon of hope for those who actually believe that rugby can actually change their life. And this in regard to that particular feature that you have just shared with you, we had a one-on-one seat, a one-on-one stand with the head coach, and of course we were giving some detailed analysis of what is happening, and this is what the coach shared with us. But before that, we want to take a break, and when we come back, and of course we'll be diving into that one-on-one session that we had with the coach. And of course, trust me, there is plenty in store for you. Quite amazing conversation that we had.
Access to knowledge. Solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
So my name is Jakub Petri. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the CAFE project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu. Pepo pa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Dunia ni leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
You know, reggae music wasn't the most popular music in my neighborhood growing up. And I discovered it on the radio, and from the first moment, just couldn't stop listening.
And many people express themselves through music.
Music is a freedom of expression.
We want the music to reach the people.
They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Traffic all I bring from the beginning.
I gave you my heart right from the start. Don't break it, Maria. I gave you my heart right from the start.
sad and you listen to this song makes you happy, feel encouraged. The song gives you hope for a bright future.
Message the world.
All talent, there's always room for improvement.
To have faith.
You can be lazy and wait until it's over, or work hard and, try to be ready whenever there is something to do. We can just be on point.
So we need to join hands and realize that together we can achieve.
For John so loved this world now, he gave his only begotten Son. Whosoever will believeth in him should not perish but live. Jah did not send his Son to condemn this world, but through him this world might be saved. Oh, my children, hear me
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that we are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable in the sense that you are not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before. So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area.
So this project is called Security Breach Detector and Furnace Familiarize. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosive.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
Loving husband and father.
Nothing is too good for my daughter.
An ambitious businessman with a dark secret. A girl with a whole life in front of her, plunging into a marriage that she did not choose with the wrong man.
I'm not ready to marry Zeva.
But who is the right one? I love Nambi. A rock star, living the dream.
But the babes keep chasing me again, sir.
It ain't easy being famous, especially with so many glamorous women around. A woman hell-bent on revenge.
You will pay.
Seductive, dangerous. She is a predator. Everybody needs it. Everybody wants it. They will do anything to get it. Love and wealth.
Right, welcome back, and of course remember before we went on break tulikuwa na small feature there about Kiunguro Rockstar Academy that deals with rugby, and of course right now we want to take a look at that one-on-one conversation that we had with the coach just to give us more details regarding this Kiunguro Rockstar Academy, what it entails, and what actually is happening there. Take a look. Speeding. Coach, thank you so much for making time to speak to KUTV. Kindly introduce yourself and tell us more about this rugby academy, when you started it, and the journey so far.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming to this place. By name, I'm Salvatore Lassa. By profession, I'm a Kenya prison officer. I stay here in Ruiru, bypass Kiunguro. My age grade team is called Kiunguro Rocks. It's a rugby community club. And I began it in the previous year, 2022 to 2021. And now I've been working for 2 years, and we're continuing well. Yes.
Coach, take us through the journey. Tell us, since the inception of it, that is in 2021, how has the journey been so far? The number of tournaments that you have participated, any trophy that you have won so far?
Yeah, the journey has not been easy, but it was a journey. Let me just say that it was just a good journey, having this team around me, and since that time, since we began together, we have been doing well, and the journey, it has involved many things. For having this rugby club at this place has not been easy, because coming up and mentoring kids, it's something difficult. And like for me, he knows that I'm that professional in rugby, but I'm just a rugby player. I play for Kenya Prison Rugby, but I love the game. And I love to see people playing rugby and even to impact the community in a positive way. As right now, we can see that the kids are training and they've grown. They've grown to the capacity that they can play everywhere. They're a full package of player. I have here every position of player, number 1 to number 15, and even subs. And we have played a number of tournaments. We have played a tournament at Hillcrest International School, and we emerged the first runners-up, and we have played even at Crawford International School. We emerged first runners-up, and we have even participated in Metro, Masai Metro, and we emerged first runners-up, and I've played several tournaments and friendly matches at Waka. We became number 1, and we are hoping that there are going to be more games, and we are well prepared, because every day we are in a working journey, and my players are committed. I want to thank them for all the cooperation. They have been active, and I have no blame upon them, for they have given me an easy time to work with them. Their parents, they have not restrained the children from coming here to play. That's something that has motivated me, despite the fact that funds had been an issue, but their parents have shown great and much cooperation to fund the team, and even coaches, my assistant coaches, they've shown up, and that's a great job. I want to appreciate them all.
All right.
Yes.
Coach, now let's talk about the birth of the idea. What really motivated you to come up with this rugby academy here? And of course, the majority, at least from 5 to let's say roughly 17 years, those are the majority here. Why go for young players and not maybe establish one, or even some that have passed, let's say, 18 years?
Okay, first and foremost, there's something behind me starting the rugby. Back in the year 2018, I was coaching a high school team, Mundika Boys High School. I coached in 2018 and 2017. And during the coaching time back at home in Busia, I managed to see that I can reach the regionals level, and I was very young, around 21 years during that time. But I was able to coach a team and to compete against other schools like St. Peter's, like Kakamega High School. So I gained that heart of just wanting to coach and see people playing rugby. So the time I came here, even my aim was not to try, it was not just to create a rugby team. But there's just a day I was walking here around, and I saw that there was just some boys here who were idle. They were playing football with no coach. So I decided that I shall just come and start training them rugby. And the time that I came, they began just to come where I was, and we started training it. And you know, the young boys from the age of 4 years to 17 years, they are obvious target, because if you capture them, they have no place to go. They'll just be coming to you again and again, compared to adults. If you get an adult will want money, he'll want food. So you find that most of his time, everything that he wants or she wants to do, it must bring something, income to him, because he has to sustain his life, maybe take care of the family. So that's why I opted to go for the age grade. Yeah.
All right. And as a coach, and from coach point of view, how would you say this particular rugby has helped the young generation that are now coming up, and of course with a dream of one day maybe making it to Team Kenya, let's say maybe Shujaas or Simbas?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want just to thank the Kenya Rugby, because when I started this game, I was in a blind side. I thought that I was at the wrong place, because I did not know anything about age grade. By the time I began, I met friends who also do the same thing, like Shamas. I met people from Ruaka and even from King's Rugby Academy. So they motivated me, and I decided that I shall continue to do what I'm doing and to train these boys. And so far, what motivated me a lot concerning these boys, their availability and their strength. And for the first place, these boys are not determined to play rugby, because every time I was finding them, they were looking for money. They could borrow money, 10 shillings from one person to another. They bystanders, they were collecting scrap metals. So it was not pleasant to me. So I decided that I should mentor them and bring them in a positive way so that they may impact the community and so that they may be an industrious person in the community. And so far, so good. They have transformed and they have no problem right now. Those characteristics through exposure, they just went over. Right now, I don't see those things. I don't see maybe fighting. I don't see. For when they came, they are having fishy behaviors. But right now, they are small kids, but they are grown up. Their maturity in terms of reasoning, they are very good.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the development of young talent as far as rugby is concerned. From a player and of course as a coach, how would you rate, the development of rugby, especially as far as nurturing young talent are concerned here in the country?
Okay, here in the country, rugby is a game that is lifted up, and we can see that even Shujas and Kenya Simbas is playing at a very level, international level. So that is something great here in the nation, first of all. And as we see, there is a bright future for the upcoming players. For the platform has already been set for them. Just is the energy that they need to continue to practice and keep up. And my aim, every day I commit much time, more than half of my day, anytime that I'm free. Like every time I'm free, I'm always here with the boys. When they close school, like I commit in the morning and the evening, just to come and train them. So their capacity as players is growing each and every day. And I have seen that here they're capable players. And here every player is capable, is able to play. That is the great thing, and that is much impressing to me, because I don't have a player who can't play. Every player, because rugby is a game that gives every player and every characteristic a position to play. For the characteristics of forward is not the same as the characteristics of backs, so that makes it easy. When you look just to a kid, you can determine this can play to this position. So rugby, it has position for everybody. Yes.
Even as we look for success factors, I've seen a team is a blend of boys and girls. And for so long, the rugby, ladies rugby has been many will describe it as neglected for quite a while. Now that you have taken the mantle as a coach and have seen the young girls here training with fellow boys, what is your aim at the end of the day? How are you trying to change that perception that we have seen for quite a long time?
Yeah, okay. Me as a coach, I don't underrate any player, and I treat all genders equally. First and foremost, I give every player the same platform and the same opportunity. And first and foremost, girls are very privileged in this game. For there are few girls who play here in Kenya, but all of them, any girl who plays rugby can make it. For girls that I have here, they have heart, and a girl who is determined to play rugby, so he always places his best foot forward. So my girls here, they are able. Even I have here one who is under 18 national team. It's called Tabitha Mdoni. He has been in the NOC camp, the National Youth Olympic camp, which was held last year. And I hope even this coming April, she'll still make a call up to go and camp with the girls of under 18. And I hope that even he'll make to travel to Egypt under the Kenya Lioness under 18 match.
Right. And about the boys, is there some that have been scouted or even poached, or someone that has made it to the national team?
Yeah, the national team so far, I have just only one who is under 18. He's called Abola Okongo, who has been with Tabitha at the camp, at the NOC Youth Olympic camp. Yeah, I have just only one boy. But for boys, the platform is great. The platform is great for the rugby in boys and men. Actually, it has a great capacity compared to ladies. So the boys, they have a greater side to play rugby as compared to girls. Yeah.
As a coach, and when you see these young players that you have been with them since the inception, now being called to the national team, how does it make you feel as a coach?
Yeah, as a coach, that is a great achievement for just nurturing talent to a national level. That is not something simple. It has to take a journey, and that to take a determination, a person who is always committed, a person who does not want to give up, a person who likes to see other people growing and even seeing the players growing. Yeah, so if I see my player make the national team, I don't just congratulate myself alone, I even congratulate the player and even the Kenya Rugby Union for having identified talent to that level for there are many rugby players, and not all of them make it to that level. But if I see as a coach, that is my achievement. That is my achievement, and I see that the doors are opening for a greater rugby team. For out of this small generation, out of these small players, is where a strong team comes out. For if we depend on only adults, we shall not sustain because people grow old. So we need to bring up people who shall step into their shoes and keep the flag still high.
All right. Well, coach, in 5 years' time to come, where do you see this rugby club, and what does the future hold for the club?
Yeah, 5 years from now, I think now here we shall have a rugby team that is well established, maybe under sponsorship or even under just support from any place of which I do not know, but I know God will come in through all that, for God has promised to bless the work of our hands, and God sees in everything that we do. So 5 years from now, I think we shall have a team even which shall start playing just from nationwide, going upwards. For I know during that time, I as a coach, I will have grown, and even players that will have grown to that level. They shall not be kids as right now they are under 17, under 15. For if we add them 5 years now, they shall be like 20 years, which is an adult rugby. So I am very relaxed, and I shall keep on working, and I know that at that time we shall form here a team, and I know it shall be a team of excellence and great achievement.
Right. Even as we wind up this particular interview, as you look at the infrastructure and capacity building as a coach and as a team under transition, and of course a team with ambition for the future, how would you probably rate, or what are some of the greatest challenges that you have faced so far as a team?
Yeah, the challenges I have faced here as a team, first of all, is just players' welfare and player safety. For if you look at our ground, it's not a safe place to play rugby, but we are trying to use what we have just to keep the talent growing and to keep the talent just moving. With protecting the game. For rugby, it has its rules. So the rules, like most of the time, we don't play here. We don't play real game most of the time. We don't do back tackles, for they are risky on this ground. We don't do lift tackles. We don't do push tackles at this place. So we try just to use what we have. Challenges have been funds. For funding this team of about 71 players is not an easy task for the parents and even we as coaches. We just commit into it. For we are happy just to see that the community is growing and people are just benefiting from what we have. For just returning to the community, that is the greatest thing that we do here. And we are just to build people who can one time even help some other people. For that is the greatest achievement. What God has given you, to share it among the people, and them growing, it also makes you grow, and it puts you in a place. It puts in a place that is more appreciable. For if they go there, they go with my name. If they come here, they come with my name. Yeah, so that is all just I want to achieve, just creating just people and improving their lives, and just giving them a platform just to stand for themselves, and even create income through this rugby and transform their families and their lives.
You talk about the family and of course the community. How is the reception of the community out there, especially right now that you have, for a parent to trust you with his or her children? How's the reception? Do they embrace the new norm that you're trying to create in this society, or even some has their own doubts, especially for a game like rugby that is known for its rough rules, and of course it's a game of, I will say, for the strongest one, and it's involved a lot of injury for some. Does those concerns really hit them as a parent and then maybe translate to you as a coach?
Yeah, it has not been easy concerning starting rugby at this place. For the fear that people had because of the game. For rugby is a smash sport. Rugby is a rough sport. It's just like other game, boxing, karate, taekwondo. You can't play and fail to have an injury. For you can't go in the battlefield, you can't go in the ring, then fight, then say that you shall not be injured even if you win. So I tried and convinced the parents, just told them that the game is rough, yes, but it's just like any other thing. Even when accident happen in the road, nobody plans for an accident. So I, as a coach, I just train them, and rugby has the rules, like we don't have high tackles, we don't drop blows, we don't use stiff arm, we don't use elbow, we don't use heads. So the parents just came to understand as we were growing. We started with touch rugby, So we started touch rugby. So they accepted it for it. It involves no contact. Then we graduated. We went to tag rugby. So we started coaching, tackling slowly by slowly. Then we started now the real game, contact game, and the parents had already accepted it. But it was not an easy thing to accept. It was not an easy thing. But the game, even the parents tried to withdraw their kids from here. But rugby had influenced them, and it was in their hearts. So when they were in their homes, they were just telling that we want to return back to rugby. They were giving their parents problem. We want just to return to coach. And so the parents now decided that we have to leave these kids go and play what they like. So that became a strong point for the kids themselves. Now wanted it. It's not now about me coach, but it's about the players who wanted more. They were determined. And yeah.
All right, and the final one, even as we close it, tell me about the kind of training that you give them. I understand there is physical training, tactical training, and all that. How do you make sure that they keep fit?
Yeah, first and foremost, I have a gym, my 50 kgs gym, which I bought specifically for this team, so that because rugby for here we don't have any medical cover, we just train and we depend for God and just keep the rugby clean, and we really embrace in safety. So I decided that I should have to buy a gym. So here we do our gym training each and every Saturday. We do our fitness runs, we do conditioning here, we do heavy exercises here, we load each and every day, we use tests here. And we play, we do play, we gain fitness through the game, through that exposure, more friendlies. So the boys are fit, even if they don't get injuries. Is that because of the training that we've given unto them? They have conditioned.
Right. Huo ndo sasa habari umesikia hapo. Ukiwa na mtoto maybe anataka kucheza rugby, you know the place, Kiunguro Rockstar Rugby Academy is the place. And of course that was Salbato, just highlighting some of the the journey, success, of course success journey, challenges, and of course what he thinks the future hold for that particular Kiunguro Rugby Academy, and just outlining some of the plans he has for that particular rugby. And of course, even as he tried to mold these young rugby stars to be future rugby stars, and actually to give them a shot this the beloved rugby game that many people, it's pretty to say, to enjoy a fair share of support here in the country, and try to see if he can transform the life. Remember, the coach himself is a law enforcer, and part of his initiative was first, beside now passing the knowledge down to the youngster, part of his initiative was to actually try and reduce the crime rate in that particular Kiunguro area. And out of that, now the rugby was born, and ever since from then, from the year 2021 until now, it has been a gradual and of course I wouldn't say a smooth journey, but at least a work in progress for that particular rugby academy. And that is a good work. And like they always say, just start with those baby steps. It doesn't matter what you have, and actually you can use what you have to at least to give you a bargaining power of your ideal vision of what you actually want to achieve in life. And that is actually, I think Salbato should be our hero. Celebrate for outstanding work anafanya in the society as far as kunacha young talent is concerned. Well, so that was a very intensive and of course in-depth conversation with the coach about that Kiunguro Rockstar Rugby Academy. Well, now I want us now to switch gears to remember I mentioned to you in the beginning of this on the sports show that will be taking you it will be like a 360 or rather anti-clockwise of the sporting activities that happen in the country and even in the global stage. And in that same breath, I want us to take a look at now the Athletes of the Year award that at least we had four athletes from Kenya that were awarded. We had Faith Kipyegon, Calvin Kiptum. Then we had Emmanuel Wanyonyi, and of course Mercy Cherotich. So Emmanuel Wanyonyi and Mercy, these are very, the youngsters, and they're actually awarded in the, rising, athletes in that category. And of course, that particular category was introduced in 2005, and ever since there has been, that effort to try and at least appreciate the contribution of youngsters, even as they mold their future career into senior athletes. Well, this Faith Kipyegon, it will go to history as actually the first Kenya female athlete to actually win this, the Female Athletes Award of the Year, because no any other female athlete from Kenya has ever won that title. But in the men's category, we have Eliud Kipchoge, who have actually won it for 2 times, and are the only athletes to have ever won that award for more than 2 times is actually that is Usain Bolt, who have won it 6 times. Now we have at least Faith Kipyegon, Calvin Kiptum, Emmanuel Wanyonyi, I beg your pardon, and of course now we have their Mercy, all of course making the country proud for their contribution and stellar performance. But the one individual that has actually not surprised many to that extent, because it was like almost guaranteed that maybe this one could be his, or rather hers, is Faith Kipyegon, because remember he broke 2 world record in a span of just 7 days: the 1500 meters and then the 5,000 meters. And of course, beside that, she went on to win the 1,500 and 5,000 meters. That is in the just concluded World Athletics Championship that was held in Budapest. Now that was a stellar performance that requires some sort of reward, and the reward actually came in handy. Beside that, remember, even President William Ruto actually feted him during the Jamhuri Day celebrations, and of course it was just, this came just hours after actually bragging this, or rather taking these awards and being recognized as one of outstanding athletes of the year 2023, together with Calvin Kiptum and of course Emmanuel Wanyonyi. So that was quite impressive and amazing to actually 4 athletes from Kenya flying Kenyan flag in that World Athletics. Now then, beside that, now in same you're talking about now the rewards. There is another one that was happening now. This is the Continental Awards here in Africa as far as football is concerned. So Victor Osimhen from from Nigeria, and of course this is the Napoli striker, was named as the Africa player of the year as far as football is concerned. He beats the likes of Mohamed Salah from Liverpool. Remember Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane for the last 3 seasons, or rather 3 years, they have been really dominating these awards and actually sharing the awards between themselves. And remember Mohamed Salah's star actually began rising when he made that transfer switch from that is Roma to Liverpool. From there he have won titles after titles. He has won UEFA Champions League, then from UEFA Champions League, then the league that he helped Liverpool to actually lift this English Premier League after 30 years of near hit and miss. So today, or rather this time round, the mantle has shifted a little bit, and now it's Victor Osimhen. Remember this Victor's this particular award comes in the wake of his tremendous contribution to Napoli actually lifting the title, and of course even coming out to grab was the coach of the year that went to Morocco national head coach. Remember, this award comes, in the wake of his contribution to helping this Morocco team to actually lift, or rather be the first Africa team to actually reach the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup. Remember, he helped Morocco to actually attain that, milestone that maybe it will went down in history for quite a number of years before another team actually comes close. Because from semi-finals, maybe we expect the finals, and it might take Africa team, or rather, we might take us Africans to actually reach that, target, or rather to break the target that was set by Morocco. It will take quite a while before we reach there, but we will. If Morocco can reach the finals of the World Cup, then it's pretty fair to say any team can actually dare to dream and reach the finals of the World Cup. So another one pretty fast before we move to some other sporting activities that actually took place this 2023. It's fair to mention that the teams like Al Ahly and Mamelodi Sundowns were crowned as the men's team of the year and the women teams of the year respectively, as far as this particular crown, or rather this particular recognition is concerned. So as far as the continental awards are concerned, so those are some of the most dominating teams in Africa continent, and of course the most performing coach and of course player in the continent, as far as these Africa Confederation CAF, that is CAF awards are concerned. Well, so from that, now let's come here in the country. And here in Kenya, actually, a number of activities have, took place. But the one that should bring joy to many football enthusiasts, I'm talking about the Pamoja joint bid. Remember, it is in this same year that actually Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda were actually granted that right to host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. But we know, we have plenty of work, and plenty of work to actually to be reaffirmed that it is rather truly ours, because first we have to work on our stadium, to actually put a few things into perspective, but the major significant one is the number of stadiums. We have to construct stadium, but here in Kenya we have stadiums like Kasarani, then the Nyayo Stadium, Kipchoge Keino Stadium, that according to Sports CS, that is Ababu na Mwamba, plans are underway to actually renovate and upgrade this to the required FIFA standard. The same goes to our neighbors, that is Tanzania and of course Uganda, in order to actually host this Africa Cup of Nations tournament that will be held in 2027. So those are some of the areas that we really need to work on. So another very interesting activities or other event that took place in this same year 2023 is the 2023 WRC, that is the Safari Rally. Remember, that was the third time this the Safari Rally was actually being held here in Kenya after 19 years of missing in action. Remember, Kenya signed an agreement to host this for until 2026. So that was the third time this particular tournament, or rather sports activity, was being held here in the country, and it was quite very significant as far as marketing Kenya in the global world, even putting Kenya in a very competitive space in the global sphere as far as the motorsport is concerned. So that was another very key area and key critical component as far as sporting activities is concerned here in the country. And in that same regard, there is another international tournament, or rather activities that took place same in April. in the year 2023. This is the World Rugby Challenge Cup, and we can call it World Rugby Cup, that was held here in Nairobi. Remember, it used to serve as the qualifiers where a number of teams like Kenya, teams from Uganda. We had the teams from Zimbabwe, and this was under 20. So two events, two very critical or rather very important events took place as far as the rugby under 20 tournament is concerned. First, it was the Africa qualifiers, then the other one was the African, World Rugby Africa Cup that was held here still in Kenya, and there at Nyayo Stadium. So these two major sporting activities actually were quite crucial as far as strategically for Kenya to put themselves there in a very advantageous position as far as rugby is concerned. So those were quite instrumental and significant moment in the history of rugby, and that put Kenya yet again in another global stage as not only a rugby destination country, but giving the youngsters a chance to actually showcase what they have in terms of international competitive stage. And of course, there has been a series of activities here and there happening, and of course we had the WAFCON qualifiers, and that Kenya took part in. I remember Kenya played against Angola. We had the likes of Cameroon, and of course now the team that actually deemed our fate was the Botswana team. So that is the Women Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers that Kenya took part. Remember, it was, for the first time the country was taking part in these qualifiers after the ban that was handed to Kenya. After the lifting of the ban, now things were now returning to normalcy, and that is one of the major competitive events that our national women football team took part. The same case goes to national football team. Their first major competitive event that they took part was same Africa qualifiers, Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, remember, where Kenya, the Africa World Cup, World Cup qualifiers that Kenya and Kenya took part, and of course their first match they played against Gabon, and of course their second match they played against Mauritius. So these are some of the competitive actions, or rather very competitive match and action that took place in this particular year as far as sporting activities is concerned. Not to forget the Commonwealth Games, and these are some of the things that Kenya actually took part in those. So in that same regard, as far as the event 2023 is concerned, remember it was an anti-clockwise, just to recap of what significant events that happened this year 2023 globally, and of course locally. And of course with that we take yet another short break. When we come back, and of course we'll be taking you through some of the Kenya Football Federation Premier League action. There is a couple of matches, at least 3 matches that are currently underway, so I will be giving you analysis of what is happening, who has scored, so basically what to expect as far as this is concerned before we switch over to international football review. As far as English Premier League is concerned, then we'll talk about the midweek Champions League, some of the results that we just witnessed, and even as we chat the way forward, and even as we bid the 2023 a bye-bye. So let's take that short break. When we come back, plenty more.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Bajuka ni kama unarusha mamikono tingisha kichwa chuko sivute kisogo.
Mbona nyinyi na wawasha nkikula nyama choma tu firifiri na
niko na pesa kushinda babako. Kasikia vibaya uko kweni. Kasikia vibaya.
I want to flex my love.
To the Church O'Clock Show. I'm your host, Esther Becky.
And my name is DJ Terror.
We start you off with a word of prayer and get you started with a live transformational worship experience. Have our minds renewed by the word of God on the word segment.
And not forgetting new music za hii wiki, yani ndakuwa bado nawapatia pale wasanii wamekuwa kiwakali. So make sure manzo tune in because zitakuwa zina flow pia pale mixes kwa wingi, yani zitakuwa zina come through, and pia performance yani from our gospel artist hapa on Gospel Art
from 7 to
10 a.m. only on KUTV. From the hospital corridors, we bring you experts to discuss issues affecting your health, from diet to mental health. The familiar and the ignored are both put into perspective. We then dive into the environment and look at the effects of climate change and its solutions. Join me, Mutegi K. Martin, every Friday at 9 p.m. as we learn on how to better our health while taking care of our environment. Only on KUTV.
The last segment of the On the Sports Show, and remember we have been tracking this Kenya Premier League match action, and let me just give you an update of what is happening right now. Remember the match between Shabana FC and Sofapaka. It is 30 minutes, and of course Shabana leads with 1 goal. And of course the Bandari vs Murang'a Seals, it's still a stalemate draw. Then Kenya Police vs KCB leads with 1 goal. So remember, those are some of the 3 fixtures that are lined up for today, and those particular fixtures kicked off at exactly 3 p.m. and we are past I think a half an hour on that particular match, and the results are as follows. Shaban of course leads their leads against Sofapaka, then Bandari and Murang'a Seals. Remember, it's still a stalemate. Well, in this particular fixtures, this Shabana FC has not been really posting some sort of promising results as many people would have expected. Remember, when they actually earned the ticket to this, or rather being when they were promoted to Kenya Premier League, this is a team that actually earned that ticket by a storm. It was a team that whenever you could hear the name Shabana, you could pretty tell what followed. So this is a team that had shown some sort of promising, given their rich culture, their support base, and their performance on the field. It's a team that could you could tell this was one of the things that could come and cause some sort of trouble to some of the teams. But right now, it's a team that is fighting for survival as far as the relegation battle is concerned. Well, then we have Bandari FC. Remember, Bandari FC in the last match they played against Nairobi City Stars, and they lost that match by a margin of 1-0. So today they take on yet another very tricky opponent. This is a newbie, Murang'a Seals, and this is a team that has shown actually it can challenge for the title, because it has posted some quite promising results. So they battle for this the 3 points today, and right now it's still a stalemate. Well, another team that the 2 teams that this we might regard as the battle that could actually swing either way, the Kenya Police and KCB. So right now KCB leads, of course, with a score of 1 goal, but it's still early to say what might happen, because this is a very tricky fixture between the 2 teams. So let's take a look at tomorrow's fixtures, and we have yet another the battle of the Titan. This is the Ingwe Derby. The Ingwe for Luya term, basically meaning watu wa nyumbani. So FC Leopards will welcome Kakamega Homeboys at Nyayo Stadium at exactly 3 p.m. That is tomorrow. And remember, Kakamega Homeboys have actually wake up. Now they sit second on the table with 27 points, 1 point behind leaders Gor Mahia, and that they have actually won all of their 5 previous matches. So this is a team that they mean business, and they are serious, and they really they want this title, and we have seen what they can do. The momentum, and of course even the results actually speaks for itself. Now, another match that will be played tomorrow is Kariobangi Sharks will be up against Bidco United. Remember, Bidco United is wounded lion. They lost 3-2 against Tusker FC during the midweek match that was played there at Sport Pesa Arena, that is in Murang'a. And then another match that has lined up for tomorrow is Nzoia Sugar will be taking on Tusker. Nzoia Sugar, they played to a 2-2 draw against Gor Mahia, the league leaders, in the last in the last fixtures. And of course they face Tusker, who comes to this match with a 3-2 win against Bidco United. And we have now Talanta who will be playing host to league leaders Gor Mahia tomorrow. And of course, another match that will be very, interesting, or rather to take a look at, that is the Ulinzi Stars will be up against Nairobi City Stars. Remember, Nairobi City Stars, recently they have really improved. They won against a couple of teams. They won against Bandari, and they have been posting these positive results. So this might sound like a warning to Ulinzi Stars. And now the Postal Rangers, remember this was a team that since the beginning of the season, they were occupying that top seat. But lately things have not been working in their favor. So Postal Rangers will be playing host to Muhoroni Youth, and that match will be played tomorrow in the Kenya Premier League, and that will be the last match of I think the last fixture of the weekend that are lined up for this particular weekend, and to be precise, on Sunday. Remember, all matches begin at exactly 3 p.m. Well, you can show up and support your team, show some love. Well, so those are fixtures as far as the Kenya Premier League actions is concerned. Remember now, when before we switch gears to some other international action, I just want to take you through the Kenya Premier League. Now the table. Top is Gor Mahia with 28 points, followed closely by that is Kakamega Homeboys with 27 points. Then this another team that follows closely is Postal Rangers with 26 points. Then KCB with 24 points. When you look at the difference between number 1 and of course from top 1 to top 4, it's actually a margin of 4 points. So that tells you the competitive, or rather the competitive nature of this Kenya Premier League title. And of course the margin and anything can change as far as this particular game is concerned. So right now it's too early to talk about the title race as far as who will get this, or rather who will clinch the 2023-2024 Kenya Premier League action. So let's now switch gears to some international action. So before that, before even we look at the Kenya Premier League fixtures, let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. And of course this is the exit of the mighty Manchester United from UEFA Champions League. Well, it comes on a very sad note, but this is football and that's how it is. Well, there has been some talks about the performance of Erik ten Hag. Some are now beginning to question, is Ten Hag actually the man who can, that is Manchester United fans, who can actually take this Manchester United to its former glory. So kumekuwa tuna maswali, Ten Hag anatosha mboga, atoshi? Then this question was extended to former Manchester United player, although that's some sort of loyalty sana to the Manchester United faithful, but because by the virtue of that Asha down that the red color, so this is his take on Ten Hag performance as far as the captain of this Manchester United ship is concerned, and that one player is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And this is what he had to say about Ten Hag's reign at Manchester United.
X is a talented club. They have the best talents in the club. They don't have big stars. What is the experience of this coach? Young talents. He comes to United. United is different mentality, different players. So the players there supposed to be big stars. So I think with his experience being there, I don't know if it talks for him or not, because I think he's in a different situation. And then above him, there is a gap where he doesn't get the help to manage the team. Listen, this is what I read in the paper, so it's not I have all the situation that is happening. But I can just imagine him coming from Ajax to United is a big difference, because I've been in both clubs. You manage talents, upgrowing is different kind of approach, because there you have a different kind of discipline. You come to United, you do the same thing. I don't know, I don't believe, and I don't think it's the same treatment you give.
All right. Well, that is Zlatan Ibrahimovic sentiment regarding Ten Hag, and just trying to draw some sort of comparison between Ajax and Manchester United. Well, there you have different talent. Here we have, superstars. So how do you manage a superstar? And of course, under that, some sort of a very unsupporting environment. That is a big question. And of course, beside that, some sort of comparison. Remember, one thing that is, now eating this Manchester United is the number of injuries, and even the drop in form for some of their top players like Marcus Rashford. The money spending, Jordan Sancho. Well, we have, just some sort of big names, and for big names playing for big clubs, and managing that has been quite a problem for Ten Hag, and that probably is some of the reason maybe we are seeing United for the first time in such a long time actually beating UEFA, at a group stage, and of course going home at a very low point. Out of let's say 4 teams, you can't even convince yourself to actually even leapfrog a team like Galatasaray to actually at least waenda hata Europa tu wajibambe huko. So that one happened. Now Ten Hag aliulizwa like, so what happened during this UEFA Champions League, because mkikuja hapa mlikuwa topped as one of the teams to actually beat. So what happened that sahi ni kupak kurudi mtaa? And Ten Hag alikuwa na haya ya kusema.
We didn't lose it today. That's clear, and I think we had some good performances, but then also we made mistakes, some individual errors from more players. And in the end it's not good enough. But I think today the performance was again very good, and we didn't deserve to lose, but we lost the game. Absolutely. I think the team did very good. I think we were very good in the defending organization. We were very good in the pressing. We had many ball occasions, ball regains, especially second half. But then we take enough benefit from it. That's also the truth. We have to see that, but also you play against a strong side, and we have to see that as well. Bayern is a good team, and they have, what I said before, they have always, even when they are not in the game, they have individual class to use one moment, and unfortunately that happened. We know we want to be more consistent, and then me as a manager, I have to improve the team progress. I have to guide them, and the players have to take the responsibility. So we have to do that together.
Well, Ten Hag anasema like the team was very good. We didn't deserve to lose. Either way, wali lose, na that's how it is. So that is the story of Manchester United, and of course the another brother mwenye follow the same suit is Newcastle United. So there's 2 United teams actually. Itabidi UEFA Champions League waione view sasa. Anyway, so that's what happened in that, the midweek action as far as the group stages, final round of matches, is concerned. So some of the teams were eliminated, some proceed or rather progress to the round of 16. And in England, we have the likes of Arsenal there, then a team like, of course, we have Manchester City. So those are the teams that actually made it to the round of 16. Well, in the Europa League, Liverpool, yes, they lost against a very weak team, but that was a very youthful team. But nonetheless, they qualified for the next round of the Europa League, the round of 16. That is some of the midweek action that actually took place across the Europe. Now let's take a look at the English Premier League fixtures that are lined up for today. Remember, the first match will begin at exactly 6 p.m. That is East Africa time, and Bournemouth will be up against Luton. And of course, the second match, same time, 6 p.m. we have Chelsea. We will be up against Sheffield United. Chelsea will want to actually, bounce back from 2 defeats in a row when they play host to Sheffield United at Stamford Bridge. Well, Manchester City will welcome Crystal Palace at Etihad Stadium at 6 p.m. same time. Well, and at the same time, Newcastle United will want to bounce back from defeat. Remember, they were thoroughly punished by Tottenham 4-1 in the English Premier League, and now they'll want to some sort of bounce back from that particular defeat when they play against London side, that is Fulham, in the English Premier League. Another match lined up for today, we have Burnley who will be up against the rebirth, or rather the reborn Everton. Remember, Everton, they won against Chelsea, that is 2-0 on Sunday in the English Premier League, and prior to Chelsea, they squeezed a win against this Newcastle United 3-0. So this is a team that is winning and of course not letting in any goals. So is it time maybe we talk about the rebirth of Everton? Remember, it's a team that was punished by point deduction, and I think the team is just furious maybe after they have just regained their lost point. Maybe we'll now see them start to see this particular team falling into their rightful place. Well, another match lined up for today's match, that Burnley vs Everton match will be played at exactly 8:30 p.m. that is East African time, and that will be a wrap as far as the Saturday fixture is concerned. And on Sunday, that is West Ham United will be up against Wolves at London Stadium, and Brentford will play host to Aston Villa. This is another team that is really performing this season, and they are among the top 4 teams, and a team to actually beat as far as the title credentials and of course title talk is concerned. So Brentford play host to Aston Villa, and the match will be played at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Then Arsenal will be up against Brighton. Well, the fixture between Arsenal and Brighton in many years has been a very tricky fixture, especially for Arsenal. This is one team that has really, caused a lot of pain and disappointment to Arsenal. Brighton. So Brighton, they'll be away at Emirates, and they'll be taking on Arsenal, a team that is eyeing the title, the English Premier League title, because they really want this one. So they'll be up against Brighton, and that match will be played at exactly 5 p.m. Another big match of the day, that is the Liverpool vs Manchester United. Well, this is a battle of the Reds, and they meet in a battle of the Titan to decide who actually claim, or rather who has the bragging rights and who is the real Red. So that match will be played at 7:30. And remember, if I can really recall, at least the last 5 encounter between these two teams, I see a 5-0, I see a 7-0 somewhere, I see a 2-1, and of course I see another 3-1-0. So this the 5-0 score margin, the 7-0 score margin, sihitaji kusema sana. I think we all know ni nani amekuwa akiadhibiwa sana. And now this Manchester United have actually really struggled to squeeze a point, especially at Anfield. So tomorrow, against all odds, all indication points that this match could be a tricky one for Manchester United. First, form yao iko down. Second, Liverpool wana fly vibaya, wamekalia table, and I don't think kama Klopp anaweza taka ku drop points against their rivals, especially Manchester United. And second of all, the third one, this is a team that right now, when you look at the comparison between, or rather the fixtures, especially when Manchester United visit Anfield, it's very tricky for Manchester United to actually walk away with 3 points at Anfield. So tomorrow, all indication shows that this might be a very tricky fixture for Manchester United, but there is that leeway in the language of football that game ni 90 minutes, na anything can happen. That's why we call it football, and that's why imeallocatiwa 90 minutes. So it's very hard to tell who will walk away with the 3 points. But either way, I really hope that the miseries will continue to pile on one of the Reds, and I really hope tomorrow haitakuwa their day, and we hope like the sentiments like we did not deserve to lose, but that's what happened. Anyway, so that is what that is the fixtures, or rather those are some of the fixtures lined up for this particular weekend in the English Premier League. Now with that, we actually coming to a close of this on the sports show, and of course before that, I have a special message for you, especially from the beginning of the season. You have decided to walk with us this journey, and of course it has been quite amazing. When take a look at the events, the 2023 events that have just happened across across the globe, and of course locally, as far as different sports disciplines is concerned. So it has been quite a marathon, and of course we have been there to always bring you up to date and bring you up to speed with what is happening. And of course we hope to keep up with the same trajectory, and of course the momentum, even as we try to look forward to new season, of course. So with that, I would like to leave it at that, and of course take this special opportunity to thank you, of course, for always gracing this on the sports show, and of course for keeping me company in the last 1 hour and 50 minutes or so. And for those who made this production a success, a big salute to you all. Until next time, it's a bye-bye, and of course do have a lovely weekend and a lovely holidays ahead.